What's going on, guys? This is Redline here, bringing you guys another Destiny 2 build video. And today we're going to be doing another Warlock Void build. I did one a while back, I think around the time Void 3.0 first came out. Um, but yeah, we got another one, and it's more updated and whatnot. A few notable facts about the build is that it works in any content. It's great for crowd control, great for solo. It works in any group, and it has great survivability, and probably one of the strongest Void builds for Warlocks. Before we get into the aspects of fragments, let's talk about the exotic that we're going to be building around. We're going to be using the Fairwinter's Helm, and the Fairwinter's Helm has the armor perk Warlord's End. Power melee final blows create a burst of energy that weakens nearby targets. Finishers and final blows against more powerful targets increase the radius of the burst and the length of the weakening effect. So, for those of you who don't know, the weakening effect is actually the strongest in the game alongside the tether for the hunter. They both, the helmet and the tether, both provide a 35% debuff. So enemies will be taking 35% more damage when they're weakened. When you get a melee final blow or a finisher final blow from this with this helmet, which is really really strong. So with that being said, let's get into the aspects and fragments. First off, I'm gonna be using the Nova Bomb Vortex super, and then my abilities is the Healing Rift, whatever glides you want. I'm using Strafe, Pack of Singularity, and Vortex Grenade. The aspects I'm using is Feed the Void and Child of the Old Gods. Now, the fragments. So we're going to be using Echo of Cessation. Finish your final blows create a burst of void damage that causes nearby combatants to become volatile. Defeating volatile targets creates a void breach. So when I get a finisher with my Felwitch's Helm equipped, I'm be weakening them and I'm be causing my enemies to become volatile. Then we have Echo of Remnants. Your lingering grenades have an increased duration. And then Echo of Starvation, picking up a Void Breach or Orb of Power, grants Devour. And then Echo of Explosion, Void ability, final blows, causes targets to explode. So this Echo Cessation slot is actually a flex slot. If you want, well, what I would recommend as probably like the number one alternative is Echo of Obscurity, which let me see, Echo of Obscurity. Finish your final blows grant invisibility. So when you get a finisher, instead of cause of volatile, you'll go invisible. So if you have a trouble with survivability, or if you want to add some survivability to this build, all you gotta do is don't Echo Obscurity, and you'll be fine. And you also get a plus 10 recovery at that. So you might prefer this over Echo of Cessation. Another good alternative is Echo of Harvest. Defeating weakening targets creates an orb of power. So pretty much, since you're going to be weakening anyway, it's just another way to pretty much give you void breaches and orb of power. And then my third suggestion would be Echo of Undermining in case you want your grenades to make your targets weaken. So you just pretty much another source of weakening a target, which in this case it will be 15% instead of 35. So those are the ones that I would suggest or prefer as an alternative. But this is the one I'm going with for the simple fact that when I cause a finisher, they're gonna be weakened anyway, and when I get a kill on one enemy, they're pretty much gonna explode, which means that the volatile explosion is gonna do 35% more damage and pretty much increases the chaining effect of the kill. And if for whatever reason, maybe like an orange bar enemy is not killed because of the explosions of the enemies, they'll at least be weak, which means you can just do another finisher and just chain it again. So that's why I chose this fragment. But like I said, my number one suggestion would be Echo of Obscurity. So so let's get into the weapons and the gear that we'll be using for this build. First off, in our kinetic slot, I have a crafted part in our dust with disorienting grenades. and auto loading holster, enhanced auto loading holster. The holster weapon is automatically reloaded after an improved short period of time. And I have enhanced turnabout. Using this weapon to break the shield of a combatant or a guardian using their super will grant you an overshield for an improved duration. So we're going to be using this grenade launcher as a utility weapon rather than for damage. So because of that, your chances are you're probably not going to be getting many kills with this grenade. But if you run into a shielded enemy, chances are if you can land the shot, it will take off their shield and it will grant you an overshield in the process, just for extra survivability. And then our main weapon we'll be using will be the Recluse. I have Recluse with Repulsor Brace. Defeating a void debuff target grants an overshield. So anytime I kill a volatile target or a weakened target, I'm gonna be granted an overshield as well. And then I have destabilizing rounds. Final blows cause nearby targets to become volatile. So you kill uh you kill a red bar or you kill an enemy. The enemies around that enemy you kill will become volatile. Therefore, you kill those volatile enemies, you're gonna be able to activate Repulsor Brace. Now, I would recommend if you have a recluse, if you get a recluse with repulsor brace and destabilizing rounds, to make sure that you have a reload master break instead of stability. Also, try to have flare magwell. The reason why I recommend a reload master break is because within fast paced combat, the reload on the gun is going to feel really slow. So you want to make sure you get as much reload as possible so you can again continue to stay in the fight while you're shooting. At times during battles when I use this gun in battles, when there's a lot going on and I need to be shooting, I need to be killing. When I have to reload, it does feel it's average speed, but like I said, in fast-paced combat, it feels slow. So I would recommend you get a reload masterwork on this role if you can. And then lastly, we're going to be using the exotic bow, Leviathan's Breath, to play into the whole void build itself. This you're going to be using this for bosses and DPS, and it comes with the trait Leviathan Side. When fully drawn, the bolt creates a large concussive blast that knocks combatants back and makes them volatile. And then the intrinsic trait is Big Game Hunter. Fires a massive heavy bolt that stuns unshielded combatants, strong against unstoppable enemies. So this also plays into um, the unstoppable, stunning unstoppables as well. So this is why this is really really powerful. And I will also recommend that you also get the catalyst, which gives you draw time decreases after precision hit. So when you land a precision hit, you're just going to be able to draw the bow faster, pretty much. And it gives you an increase in inventory size for your arrows. Of course, the helmet, like I said, is Felwood's helm. I have Discipline mod, Ash to Assets, Harmonic Siphon, and then I have a heavy ammo finder. And then for my arms, I have Momentum Transfer. Causing damage with a grenade reduces your melee cooldown, bolstering detonation, to give me class ability when I do damage with my grenade, and then firepower. Your grenade final blows create orbs of power. Then for my chest, I have the resistance mods and then harmonic reserves to give me void reserves, more ammo. And then I'm using on my legs I have two void weapon surges. The reason I'm using two void weapon surges is because we have Devour on this build. When you activate Devour, it's going to fully heal you, and it's going to grant you grenade energy. So it'll kind of be, it's not necessarily redundant to have innovation and recuperation on it, but I wanted my weapons to be, I wanted my recluse to do more damage. So anytime I pick up a orb of power, I'm gonna make sure um I'm gonna activate Devour, which means I'm gonna get grenade energy and I'm gonna get fully healed, which is exactly what recuperation and innovation does anyway. So it makes these mods kind of redundant in my opinion. So to make up for that, I decided to use Void Weapon Surges, so I can get increased damage to my Recluse and my Leviathan's Breath when I pick up an Orb of Power. And then on my class ability energy, I have Bomber and I have Proximity Ward and Reaper. The reason I have Proximity Ward because if you don't have um this, well, first off, Proximity Ward gain a powerful overshield while performing a finisher. A lot of times, if you don't have this mod on and you're performing finishers, you could get killed while you're going to be taking damage while you're performing a finisher. So when you perform a finisher, anytime you perform a finisher, you're going to always have an overshield. It's going to go away after the finisher animation is over, but at least you're protected when you do a finisher. So that's why I have Proximity Ward on here. So that's the meat and potatoes are pretty much what you need to put this build together. This build is going to require you to be a bit more aggressive. So 70% of the time you're going to be close to mid range. So you're liable to make a lot of mistakes, or not you say a lot, but you're liable to make some mistakes being within that range. So I want to give you guys some tips on how to use this build effectively, and hopefully you can learn something and it can give you an idea of how you should be running this build when you're in the field. So let's get into some tips. Tip number one: control the crowd. Now, one of your main objectives when you're running this build is to make sure the enemies that you come in contact with are debuffed in some type of way. So you have the grenade launcher to disorient them. You have your recluse to spread volatile. You have your finisher to spread volatile and to weaken them. And you have the child of the old gods to weaken them. Now, when you end up doing a finisher on the enemy, and the enemy surrounding them are hit with the burst, they're also going to be disoriented as well. So they are not even going to be attacking you, which is another reason why I decided not to go with Echo of Obscurity, that which makes you invisible after a finisher, is because you're not even going to be getting hit by them anyway. So I thought I could take more advantage of them being volatile, so when I kill one enemy, they all explode, and because they're weakened, the explosions are going to be doing more damage. Tip number two, and the most important one: choose wisely. The helmet states that you get a bigger radius and a longer duration depending on the tier of enemy that you kill. However, that doesn't mean that you overlook the red bar enemies or the lower tier enemies. If it's a red bar enemy, finish them. They matter just as much as the orange bars and the yellow bars. It's an orange bar, finish them. Don't overlook the lower tier enemies just because it's not that big of a radius, or it's not, you're not gonna have that long of a duration of the weakening. Every finisher counts. Every finisher matters. On the flip side, just because the finisher counts and every finisher matters, doesn't mean that the finisher is worth it. If you see an enemy at a distance that's weak or low health, and you have an opportunity to do a finisher on them, do not run across the map to try to go finish that enemy. Every finisher is not worth it. You are no use to your team if you're running across the map and you get killed on the way there. It's even worse if your teammates kill the enemy that you're going after. So now you're stuck in the middle of the map, surrounded by enemies, and you have to figure a way out. Putting yourself in harm's way and risking dying. And handicapping your team. So, do not run towards the enemies. Let the enemies come to you. And if they happen to be low health when they get to you, then you finish them. Otherwise, use your weapons and abilities to kill them. Okay, so now you have a few tips on how to use the build. I want to get into some gameplay. I want to show you guys the gameplay of the build in action. It's going to be an onslaught. It's not going to be the whole onslaught run. It's just going to show at least 5 waves. Pretty much showing you showing me defending the first time you go into the pyramid ship, and then the boss phase, the boss wave. So those are the only 3 things that I want to showcase in this gameplay to show, like I said, to show the build in action. So, with that being said, enjoy.
Execute all targets, and make sure you're still standing when the dust settles. A total rout! Best your opponents and survive. Victory is a matter of will. Your light is blistering. It's no wonder gods fall before you.
So that's gameplay to show the build in action. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully this is a build that you'll be willing to try. If you have any comments, questions, or anything, comment down below and I try to answer them the best I can. I appreciate you checking out the vid. And if you would, like, comment, subscribe to me on YouTube. And I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/red_line1. And I guess with that being said, man, red line out.